Hey, people, just waiting for this thing to boot up. How's everybody doing? Ow. Alright, hey, what's happening, gamers? Welcome back to K-Wing's Let's Plays, and the Armored Batman Zero is out. So, Batman is now Iron Man. Rebuilt and ready for action when things get tough. Batman, armored. And, of course, I already got him. Now, people had the ability to get this armor early if you collected all 7 issues of the Batman Zero Point stuff, which I did have all of them on DC Infinite, but I never put all the codes in. So, I mean, I guess I paid for the skin twice, if you think about it. So, this skin is like 1,500 to 2,000 points in-game. Whatever. And he looks like Iron Man. I mean, I don't know. He looks okay. I like the Affleck cowl going on. It is not the armored Batman skin that a lot of us were hoping for. But it is what it is, you know? Not much we could do about it. I was really hoping that it was going to be the Affleck armor. But it's not. This is a Fortnite thing. Basically, Batman utilizing all the technology around him to create an Iron Man suit so that he can win Fortnite, I guess. I don't know. And he smiles. It's just, that throws me off so much.
He is Iron Batman.
He is Iron Batman. Look at this.
I'm Iron Bat.
I am Iron Bat. Yeah. Look at me, my smiling face.
Bad Iron.
Bad Batman. Bad Iron Man.
Irony.
Irony Bat. So yeah,
Because I'm smiling.
I know, it's so weird. It's like the creepiest thing you could do to Batman is make him smile.
It looks like the Joker.
No, it doesn't look like the Joker. It looks like, I don't know. I love the stubble. The stubble's great, but the smile just throws everything off.
That's probably how the new Batman will be.
Oh my gosh, yep, Robert Pattinson's gonna be smiling all over the place.
Probably will.
No, I don't know. So he's got a new glider, which the glider looks pretty cool. I've no issue with the glider. I think that's awesome. I like that. So new in the Fortnite stuff, you've got people wearing cardboard, yay, which they've probably had these before. It does not. I have no idea who this is, but it's a giant. Oh, it's a firework that before and after it blows up. That's clever.
Were we able to take care of the Mage Wolf thing or no?
Yes, I unbanned Mage Wolf. I did that personally. So if it's still
and I
banned,
did that by accident. So
yeah, Amber needs to stay away from the.
I accidentally banned 5 people in a previous stream today by accidentally tapping my phone.
I told you guys this. I said that they cannot have Marvel characters at the same time as DC. Look at this. Batman is the only character available. Like, Thanos is gone, Captain America, all those people. And it's only 2 days after the 4th of July.
Yeah.
They can't. They cannot coexist. If Batman is here, that means no one is here. Like, they can't be around at the same time. So, let's see. He's got his cape thing that looks, I don't know. It looks like an action figure. That's the problem I have with this one.
Oh, why does it say Loki?
What?
It has a hashtag that says Loki at the
Oh,
bottom of it.
let's fix that. We don't want to get sued. Batman. Batman! Not Loki. Boom.
I mean,
There we go.
nothing.
Yeah, let's see what else he's got. He's got armored batarang axe. This seems like it would make sense. He improvised. So he put a batarang, put it on an axe, boom. Makes the most sense. And then he, of course, has his glider with the bat wings. That is awesome. I love the new glider. New glider makes me happy. So we're going to be playing as Batman tonight. And I don't want to give him his big bat. I like this one. This is a better cape to me.
Does Batman actually say I'm not wearing hockey pads?
Yes, he does.
Oh.
The Dark Knight. No Tesseract for Batman. He doesn't get the Tesseract.
Well, honey, I didn't get my hook the other day.
Well, I kind of have my foot like out, so it's kind of hard to. No, I don't want you to hug my foot. That would be painful. So we're gonna get rid of Loki's Ice Dragon and use Batman's new glider. And there we go. That's pretty dope. And we're getting rid of the Marvel music because no. Going back to Batman music. There we go. And
Batman doesn't smile or eat nachos.
Batman does not smile or eat nachos. That is correct. He's Batman. So he has dark side powers. He doesn't Thanos snap.
Oh, have a good night, Nightwing Alex. Have a great night. Thanks for coming by. And I hope you're having a good birthday, Gabriel. Great to see you, John Doe, Iron, and Lanton, Tyler, and everybody. Great to see you guys. Have a fantastic night, Nightwing Alex. Thanks for coming by.
Alright. What is this?
Says, I'll rewatch the stream tomorrow. Thank you, Nightwing
Yeah, no
Alex.
worries. No worries.
Hey, Ethan, and hey, Big Nate. Thanks for coming back after I accidentally banned 5 people today. I feel so
Amber
bad.
banned 5 people.
Including Big Nate. Big Nate was the first one to say, it's okay, I forgive you. That was very sweet. Thanks, Big Nate. You're awesome.
Sasquatch Batman.
Hey,
Oh my gosh.
Is it Negan or Negan Smith? Hello, Negan Smith. Or Negan Smith. I'm really bad at pronouncing names, but hello. Great to see you. Hope you're having a great day. Batman doesn't smile or eat. No.
But he does have a rockin' boombox. That's funny. I would see this in my neighborhood a lot in the 80s. People with these... You have to think they'd be pretty strong to hold. Those boomboxes were massive. But at the same time, blasting the music, I don't think they're really thinking that because their ear is right there. And the speakers, you know...
Yeah, it is weird that it would be right by your ear.
Yeah, and I always thought, like, it would be probably a good idea to have the boombox facing away from your ear. You know? But... you know, because I mean, the high decibel levels. I guess teenagers don't think things; they just kind of do it.
Thanks, Big Nate. You're awesome.
Big Nate is very forgiving.
You know,
All right, let's get into our first match of the night. There we are.
Hey, Chad. So, 5 people got Order 66, a new record.
Yep.
Yeah, we found out Mage Wolf was
Yeah,
the
they
last
didn't.
one.
They didn't deserve it either. But Mage Wolf should be back to normal.
Luke had to go over to the Nightwing 01 channel. Oh yeah, I should tell people to do that.
Yeah, in the future, just go over to the 01 channel, leave a
I'll
comment.
tell
and
people, please go to the 01 channel and leave a comment.
Ooh, this game looks
'Cause
cool.
if you're just banned from this channel, that doesn't mean you're banned from the other ones.
Mm-hmm. This is a mobile game, I bet. Yep, it's a mobile game. Cool. Alchemy Stars Aurora Blast is a mobile game that was displayed on our channel just now. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I don't care about this other stuff. It's not letting me in a match? Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. I hope the new summer anime season starts soon. One of my 3 friends in general or group chat, there's a screenshot or a text because we're not... okay, that's... Cool. Why is this not letting me get in? Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I'm with you, Sammy. I feel the same about the whole... A lot of people are upset about the Nintendo Switch thing. It makes sense. It makes sense. We still haven't gotten in a match yet. But anyway, looking at Batman's Iron Man armor. Because I like to trigger people. Batman, Iron Man armor. I wonder if we're even going to get into a match now. See, this is the joys of Fortnite. Looking at Batman, Iron Man armor in Fortnite. Now. Yep, that's it.
Well, I'll probably go to sleep.
I mean, that makes sense.
I have a little tummy ache.
From what?
Because I'm having a tummy ache for the month.
Oh, okay. That's fine. You told me your stuff tasted weird and I was starting to freak out
that's
again.
not it.
Oh, both your coffees are in the fridge, so they should be good for tomorrow.
Sweetheart.
Yep. And I ate the rest of this stuff, so that was really good. Yeah, guys, it's not letting me in a match. Oh, we got Captain America standing right behind me.
Great to see you, Akira. Hello.
Hey, Akira.
Hey, Negan or Negan. Hi, Vincent. This says I like FORTNITE better. LOL.
Hmm.
Do you know who Sephiroth is? Yes, I do, Landon.
I have a vague idea who Sephiroth is, yes.
Be funny if Batman started beatboxing, says Paratrooper Earl.
You go, sweetie.
Okay.
That
I
was,
already had some of it, though.
that was your smoothie stuff.
I had some of it, Luke.
You can have more.
People keep leaving before the matchmaking can do its thing, says Vic.
Ah, people, stop leaving. I want to get into a match, or I'm gonna
Hey,
yeet.
guys.
I'm gonna yeet everybody here.
If you keep leaving, we'll never get into a match.
Exactly.
Hey Vic, how's it going?
So we're 1 month away from Superman joining the game. That's crazy to think about. Dun, 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 dun.
I might put this in the fridge because
That's fine.
I already had some of it.
Oh, I'm gonna have to grind so much in Mario and Luigi Superstar, or sorry, Mario and Luigi Partners in Time.
Mage Wolf is here!
Yeah, there you go.
Welcome back, Mage Wolf. I'm so sorry.
No, she's not.
I am sorry, Mage Wolf. Thank you for contacting instead of just leaving. Or thanks for understanding, Mage Wolf and Big Nate and everyone. I don't want to say I'm sorry again, but I am so sorry.
Batman is amused, Amber. Just sitting there eating popcorn. Oh, he has a little ice cream thing! That's cool! He has a little ice cream getup. I like that. That's nice. So anyway, hope you guys having a good night. Tomorrow's streams on K-Wing's Let's Plays are as follows. Be something at 4 o'clock. 6 o'clock, more Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. 10 o'clock will probably be Cat Quest number 2. And 8 o'clock will be Monster Hunter. So Monster Hunter Stories Part 3 will be tomorrow. It's 8 o'clock. That's the plan, Stan. And then Cat Quest number 2 will be in the evening of that night. Because I want to get through most of the Ultimate streams. Because we're going to be looking at 2 brand new games this month. Monster Hunter Stories 2 and The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. So we're going to have to open up the channel for live streams of those 2 games. So... yes, Skyward Sword will be happening live, so that way you guys can jeer and point me in the right direction when I get stuck fighting giant spiders, because that's going to happen. And then for the dialogue aspect of the game, we'll do it like a Let's Play, like we did the original. So kooky voices, just not too many crazy voices, because I don't want to lose my voice.
Which game are we in crazy voices?
Skyward Sword. July 19th or 20th is when it comes out. Yep. Yep. I am the Batman now. I am Iron Man, Batman. Iron Batman. Yep, more or less.
I don't know where all the
What are you looking for? You don't even know what you're looking for.
I'm
Okay.
looking for when it's cold upstairs. I need like a hat.
Okay, but it's not going to be cold upstairs. It's cold down here.
But I still need one.
Otis. I have no idea, sweetie. I don't know where all the hats are. You have to watch a tutorial of how to... You don't... Well, first you turn off your piano, and then you unscrew the piano because you have to take the top off it. Then you're going to have to put your piano upside down and take the screws out from underneath. And then you just pop in the keys. In theory. Or you can pay $100, take it apart, and take it to the piano store. Okay. Awesome. Excuse me, cat. Da 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 da. A lot of Batman stuff in my head, but I don't know. What I find funny, though, is think about all the people that bought the DC Infinite comics to get this exclusive skin. And then, like, after, you know, the comic book wrapped or whatever, you had to get all these pieces to get this skin that we're showing right now, and then they add it into the shop afterwards. I mean, how would you feel about that? Like, what was the point of getting those comics if pretty much everything that released in those books you can get, you can pay for, and you actually pay less money for it buying it from the store than you would, like, buying all 7 issues of that comic? It doesn't make any sense to me. It feels like maybe DC messed up or Fortnite messed up. I don't know. Meh. I would feel pretty annoyed. I mean, I still haven't read all the comics yet. I don't know, I got kind of sidetracked with stuff. I was like, yeah, okay. Maybe I'll read this, maybe I won't. I've been reading a lot of Nightwing books right now. The Nightwing books are fun. Batman books are just kind of... they're there. I do like Batman, but his latest run is just not interesting. I kind of gave up on the, he didn't get married. No, that was a couple years ago now, honey. He didn't get married. Nope. There was one run of Batman comics that I just gave up on recently because it's not really canon. What do they call it? Legends or something like that? Legendary. I don't know. It's like this weird thing. But I'm not going to continue that. I'll wait until the actual Batman numbers catch up if I continue reading Batman. The Nightwing run I'm having the most fun with, to be honest. So what's great about the Nightwing run is it's done by Tom Taylor. It's a lot of fun. The dialogue between Nightwing and Barbara and Tim Drake and stuff is hilarious. The villain is kind of weak, but I like the overall aspect of the book, aside from, you know, Dick Grayson being a billionaire now. That feels a little weird. But, I mean, it would make sense that Alfred would leave Dick Grayson all his money because, I mean, it's Dick Grayson. Bruce would squander it all on Bat stuff, and, you know, Alfred wants Grayson to be able to live a comfortable life, and Grayson wants to help people, so he did some stuff to help some people. So it just, I don't know, it feels weird though, because Dick has never had a lot of money, so the fact that they finally gave him tons of money it's interesting. But at the same time, the whole Tom Taylor thing, giving Dick Grayson a sister who's evil, I don't know. It's like that one time they ran out of ideas for Batman and they decided, hey, we're going to have Bruce's brother be a thing. That his parents gave up his brother for reasons that we don't really know. But yeah, he has an older brother and we're going to make his older brother evil. Now they're doing the same thing. They're like, Dick Grayson didn't know that he had a sister out of wedlock. And she's evil. And he has to fight her. And the person who adopted her is Tony Zuko, the person responsible for killing his parents. That'll be something of a twist. It's like, okay. I guess that's interesting. I don't know. At this point, I just want them to be like, oh, by the way, John Grayson didn't die, but he's evil now. He's a mob boss in Florida. Or something lame like that. Or wait, no, not the father. Let's make the mother evil. Mary Grayson didn't die. She had a twin sister who took her place on the night of the trapeze. She left her family, and she's in Reno, running like the organized mob there. And then Dick Grayson is gonna run into her, and boom. I mean, just things like that. It's just kind of dumb. At this point, if you want to be edgy and do something different with Nightwing and Batgirl, have Batgirl get pregnant and give Nightwing and Batgirl a baby. That will change up things. There needs to be a Bat baby. They'll never do that though, because they'll be like, Barbara Gordon can't have a baby because that's not empowering to women. You can't raise a child. Her life is over if she becomes a parent. Both their lives are over. It's like, no, do that, because that'd be different. Have Nightwing be the stay-at-home dad. There you go. Now you're edgy. She's becoming like a police officer now or something, I think, is what Barbara's doing. I died. Crime fight at night. I love the idea of Nightwing being a stay-at-home dad. That's so Nightwing. Yeah, he would. I got one! You've been Batmaned. Sort of. Ah. Okay, I'm going for, whoa. Thought I saw somebody moving over. Yeah, I did! Why am I such a bad shot? My gosh. Oh, whoa, did I get two people? Oh, never mind. That didn't work out for me. Whoopsies. Now imagining Nightwing calling Tim to see if he can handle it because he has to take care of the baby. Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, everybody's making a big deal about Nightwing's new dog, right? It's like, if Batgirl and Nightwing are an item now, it's like, you want to know what young people have to be concerned about? Accidentally getting pregnant. If they want to be relatable to young people, it's like, they should have, you know, Batgirl and Nightwing make an oopsie, and Batgirl wants to take responsibility, and Dick wants to take responsibility because he has money now. You know? Even if he didn't have money, I like the idea of Dick not really having a lot of financial stability and still having a baby with Batgirl. But, I mean, the fact that he's a billionaire right now, I mean, if I was Babs, I'd be like, alright, it's time for us to, you know, settle down, have a Bat family of our own. Because, I mean, I'm sure Nightwing's gonna end up losing all his money anyway. But, that's the only interesting thing you can do with Dick Grayson right now. Is everybody has kind of wanted a little bat family for Grayson, or rather, bird family. And you can't keep teasing this idea of Batgirl and Nightwing getting together and then just, like, kill them off in some type of, like, weird crossover thing and reboot DC again. They've been teasing the possibility of these two, like, actually ending up happily ever after for 30-something years. And they kind of fulfilled that in Convergence, but not really. And now they're kind of on again, off again right now, I think. Because she's going to be playing... Barbara's going to be playing a huge role in the Nightwing books going forward for, like, the next year. So, I mean, you know. That would be the most compelling thing, because young people have to worry about accidentally getting preggers. It can happen, even with protection. So, it would be funny and also interesting as if they could do that to Nightwing and Batgirl right now. And that would completely change the way the Batman books, at least the Nightwing and Batgirl books are, because there'd be a lot of differences. And it's something that's never been done for the character outside of an Elseworld story. So, that's what I would do at DC. And if they didn't approve of Nightwing and Batgirl, be like, all right, well, Stephanie and Tim have been together forever. It's gonna happen to them. There you go. If you don't let me do Batgirl and Nightwing, then I will do my second pick, which would be Stephanie and Tim. That would be an interesting story. And then age them up. Like I don't want the pregnancy to be the whole, you know, arc or whatever. So there'd be a time skip of like 6 to 9 months. Because I think that would be interesting with those two. It would work with Nightwing and Batgirl. It would also work with Stephanie and Robin. Because Chuck Dixon kind of teased that in the 90s where DC was freaking out, though, and they were like, no, you can't have Stephanie be pregnant with Robin's baby. It has to be somebody else's. They were on a break, Ross and Rachel style, and, you know, it's not Tim's baby, it's somebody else. But Tim was prepared to be a good guy and take care of Stephanie, but I don't really remember how the story ended up happening in Chuck Dixon's run. I'm pretty sure she had the baby, she disappeared for a while, and then she came back. They renewed their relationship, and then not long after that, Tim ended up retiring, she became Robin, and then she, quote-unquote, died fighting Black Mask. Only for her not to really die, because Leslie took her with her to Africa. And then she came back. You know? So, I need to use the Batman Fortnite theme for something because nobody uses it. I could, like, use that in my videos or something like that. Like Bat News or something. Ah. Can you get my username for what? My Fortnite thing is full. Ah. Oh no, my phone disconnected. Da-da-da. What about Bat Dog having puppies? Young people have to worry about that, Luke. I watch One Piece. I'll be fine. Okay. Nightwing and Batgirl's relationship kind of reminds me of Spider-Man and Mary Jane's. Always getting together and breaking up. Yeah. Although Spider-Man actually had the decency to marry MJ, it was just Marvel that decided, we're going to have Spider-Man sell his soul to the devil so that they break them up. And now after MJ and Peter Parker have been back together for a year or so, now they're going to kill Peter Parker. And they're bringing back the clone, Ben Reilly. Why? Nobody wants this. Now in comic books, they see marriage as like a dead end. Like, it's over. It's like, nah, the adventure just begins when you get married. Then you have kids. Then you have to raise the kids. The kids go to school, and you have to find a way of dealing with life without the kids again. Now incorporate that as a superhero. That would be really interesting. I want to see Nightwing and Batgirl aged up like 5 or 6 years with a family and having to deal with their kids going to school and being parents. If they can do the Lois and Clark Superman show on CW, they could easily do a comic book with, you know, young married couple Babs and Nightwing and their adventures with children and being superheroes. That'd be adorable. And then if they want to reboot it afterwards, whatever. But I think a lot of people would be interested in it. That's what I would do. I sound like a girl? That doesn't even make any sense. That'd be cool. Use the Batman Fortnite theme for the Bat News thing. Yeah, I'm probably going to do that. Why did they delay the Batman movie? Because it's not ready? And they don't like a lot of the stuff in the movie? Originally, the Batman movie was supposed to be modeled after The Long Halloween. But then, you know, DC got to work on the Long Halloween animated movie, and the animated movie is probably going to be better than Matt Reeves' movie. So Matt Reeves went through and he fixed a bunch of stuff, and Warner Brothers apparently does not like it. So, it's currently in post-production right now, still. And things aren't really going well. There was a lot of supposed drama behind the scenes, like when making the movie. And we'll see what happens when it comes out in the spring. Could be a hatchet job of rush of editing, or, you know, we'll find out. Some story choices didn't pan out well, supposedly. They can't really fix it. Also, the pandemic made things very difficult. So, this event should be called Independence Day. I don't really see how. At least Dan Didio is gone, never to return again. Yeah, it could be a lot worse. K-Wing, is the Long Halloween in the same universe as the Arkham series? No. Nope, it's different. Very different. Although, in Paul Dini's version of the Arkhamverse, so Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, the events of Long Halloween and Dark Victory did happen. Not necessarily the same way they did in the comics, but see, this is where everything gets confusing in the Arkham thing, and you can't really do a full Arkham canon because it doesn't work. Because there's lots of issues. Paul Dini's version, so the ones that he wrote, Asylum and City, Long Halloween happened. The death of Jason Todd did happen, so death in the family. Dark Victory happened. Nightfall happened. I believe No Man's Land happened, or rather Cataclysm. And there was one other big event, because Paul Dini based it after the comics and the animated series, like his version of Batman. And then when they came in and they wrote, the new writer came in and did the Batman Arkham City Harley Quinn's Revenge thing, and they also penned Arkham Knight, they made a lot of mistakes. And also Arkham Origins did some stuff too, and then the comic books went all over the place. Paul Dini had a standard for things that he was doing from Asylum through City, although he didn't write all of City. He wrote up until Joker's death. Like, they couldn't decide if they were going to kill Joker or whatever, and by then Dini was like kind of working on the Spider-Man animated series or something. So they had somebody else finish the pivotal death of Joker sequence. Like, Dini didn't write that. Supposedly. He did the first and third arc. He did not do the fourth arc of Arkham City. Nor did he do the DLC. Which is why the fourth... For me, the death of Joker and being behind everything, as well as the Harley Quinn DLC stuff, it doesn't really fit the same narrative tone that throughout Arkham City is. It just feels like it was kind of like rushed, and that doesn't feel like Dini's style. Dini's able to explain things and take his time, and then it, everything works out and it's masterfully done. But whoever helped finish the end of Arkham City and the Harley Quinn's Revenge DLC, it's messy. It's very messy. Because the way that Dini was writing it, it felt like Ra's al Ghul was going to be the big guy behind everything. Or Hugo Strange. And everybody knows that wasn't the case. Who would be in your dream roster for the Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, besides the people we already have? Those are the only people you're going to have. Like, it's only going to be King Shark, Harley Quinn, Boomerang, and Deadshot. They're not... It's basically... I would look at it kind of like the Guardians of the Galaxy game. You only have 4 characters that you'll be able to play as. Actually, they didn't even say you get to play as all of them. I don't remember. I don't think so. Because the Guardians of the Galaxy game coming out this fall, you only get to play as Quinn. So... Or Peter, whatever. Hey, Luke, and you know what? The cult happened in the Arkham... Everyone is saying the cult happened in the Arkham universe and a lie because Arkham Knight was the first time Batman meets Blackfire. Yeah. Yep, there's a reference to all kinds of stuff happening. That they just... Yeah, Peter Quill, sorry. Yeah. I called him all over Quinn. He kind of looks like a Green Arrow. In my defense. I'm not a huge Marvel fan, so... But I like Guardians of the Galaxy, but I like the film version. I think I'm going to like the game version, though, but I'm going to be pretty trolly with it. I'm going to mess with Rocket and a bunch of other people. Just so I can have, dialogue where people are kind of annoyed. Just because that sounds kind of fun to me. So, yeah. Oh, good times. But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with Kill the Justice League. We'll find out at the DC Fandom event in 4 months. 4 or 5 months. There's really no reason they shouldn't do it in August, though. They're waiting until October, which is crazy. Private property. Not anymore. You've been bataranged. Da, 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 da. I am Iron Batman. Yeah. So do you guys think they're finally done with Batman skins in Fortnite? Or you think they'll have another Batman skin next year? In March, they'll have the Batman joins Fortnite. Matt Reeves, Robert Pattinson Batman. Just randomly shows up. Ugh. I think it could happen. I don't think this will be the last Batman skin in Fortnite. I doubt it. I think in the long run, you're going to have more Batman DC skins and character skins than any other DC character in Fortnite. Yeah, you're getting Superman in August. Maybe Zod or Supergirl, later on. But let's be honest here. They'll find a way of adding, other Batman villains and Batman in Fortnite because it's Batman. I wouldn't be surprised if they bring in Riddler and if they bring in they already have Catwoman, they have Joker, Scarecrow, maybe Two-Face. I want the 89 Batman though. When they do the Flash movie, I want the 89-92 Batman. Although turns out I was kind of right about what I was telling you guys about why they haven't given the identity of Supergirl yet. There's been talk on set, and these people have gone to different forum sites to kind of express their annoyance of the movie. So the Flash isn't the focal point of the movie, apparently. Supergirl is. And it's not necessarily the Supergirl that everybody knows. It's not Kara Danvers, and it's not... She isn't the daughter of Superman either. Supposedly, what they're trying to do to bury this rumor, because they don't want any, validity to it, because this would cause a lot of problems in terms of people going to see the movie. It's sounding like that she is the gender-bent version of Clark Kent. Like, Henry Cavill's Superman is now Supergirl because of something Flash did by accident. And she's not a Supergirl that has really been out and about in the world. She's kind of not necessarily evil, but she doesn't know what's going on, and that's why she's so thin and kind of sickly looking, is because they're trying to incorporate Flashpoint Superman, which Kal-El was, trapped by the government and didn't really know anything. He couldn't really speak English. He just had these powers, and he was very disgusting looking. Had wild hair. So that's the big rumor. So Michael Keaton and The Flash and Ben Affleck are all going to play second fiddle to this different version of Superman, but as a woman. So it's not Kara. It's not Lois Lane or Laura Lane. It's not any super baby. It's supposedly Henry Cavill as a woman, or his Superman, that mishaps happened during Flash's trying to save his mom. But she does come from Keaton's Earth, but he had a different Superman beforehand. So it's kind of like, this could be very bad. This could be incredibly bad. Because originally, how it was explained to me why to get hyped about this thing is they were going to continue the story from Keaton's world, and we were going to find out what he's been up to, 30 years ago. That's not the case. Like, yeah, his Batman is going to be around, and he may or may not be like a changed version of Ben Affleck, or he could be his Keaton self. We don't really know yet. Like, the only thing people are talking about on set right now is that the Supergirl, if true, being basically the gender swap version of Kal-El, which they got from gender swapping Loki in the Loki TV series. If you guys didn't know, Loki has a version of himself where he becomes a female, and they change up things quite a bit, like it or not. So it's possible that DC took that idea, or because they're sick and tired of Henry Cavill stands, the best way to get rid of Henry Cavill without really getting rid of him is to change his character. Now, what do I mean by that? By changing his character, I mean you turn him into a woman, and you get a woman to play him. Then Henry Cavill can't come back. So that's the concern that everybody has right now, because they refuse, even on set, only a few people know who Supergirl is. Like, who she is, meaning, who her character is. Everybody on set, apparently the extras who talk on these forum sites, are just to refer to Supergirl as Supergirl. So her identity is going to be a big reveal that is going to cause probably shockwaves in the DC Films world. So I would buckle up, people. I think that it's going to be pretty intense, especially if you're a Henry Cavill fan. I think that they are honestly going to replace Henry Cavill with this girl, and she won't be his cousin. She won't be the daughter of Superman. She will be, gender-swapped version of Superman. That's why she kind of looks like a dude. If you really think about it, it all adds up. Why they made an actress who normally looks very beautiful and made her kind of gender-neutral, if she really is supposed to be the female version of Henry Cavill, then it all makes sense why she looks the way she does. Kind of grungy and, not her normal cute-looking self, like the way Sasha looks normally. Like, they actually grunged her up quite a bit. But it would make sense if that's the reason why. But I think that this is going to come back and bite Warner Brothers in the butt big time if they chose to do this. I don't think anybody would be on board with Superman becoming a woman, because something Flash did. I don't think you can really be like, oh, that's hilarious, because then people are going to be like, wait a second, who's the person who's going to be in the Black Adam 2 movie? Well, Sasha will, of course, because she's Superman. I mean, Supergirl. That's the problem. So, we'll see if it all pans out or not. But that's the current rumor that's going around as they're still filming in England. And some people are like, wow, stunning and brave, very exciting. And other people are like, oh my gosh, that's just like, that's worse than, talking about the black Superman on Henry Cavill's birthday. Now they're just going to outright replace him with a woman? Ouch! Ouch! Poor guy can't catch a break. If true. I think that would suck, personally. You go through all this stuff to establish a character, and then, supposedly this Andy guy has no idea what he's doing. And then Flash and Michael Keaton would be playing second fiddle to this brand new character, who isn't really brand new. It's Superman, but not. That just seems like, I don't know. It really feels like Warner Brothers is trying to give the finger to Discovery and leave them like a huge mess when most of them get fired. Like when those executives all get the yeet in 6 months or so. It just feels like this was done to try to, like, I don't know, really mess up the DC film universe. Because here's the thing, which is what I told you guys before. The Snyder Cut is doing well in the rest of the world now. It's in Japan right now. And it is getting a lot of good praise from Japan. Like, they really, really like the movie. A lot. Warner Brothers Japan likes the Snyder Cut a lot, too. So you have different aspects of Warner Brothers outside of Warner Brothers America, like the American branch, that actually likes the Snyder Cut and wants to see it continue. Japan, Germany, Australia. I think Korea, Warner Brothers Korea also liked the Snyder Cut, or rather, Zack Snyder's version of it. The only one that's being a thorn in the side is the Warner Brothers executives and Warner Brothers of America, so the United States branch, which is, arguably a bigger branch than everybody else, but the rest of Warner Brothers and Discovery and other people seem to really like it and want it to continue in some capacity. But if you go through and you replace Superman, turning him into a woman, and outright getting rid of Henry Cavill, you really can't continue the story the way it was. And remember, the main audience of these films is not on Twitter, which Discovery has told Warner Brothers. Discovery Warner Brothers has told WB Warner Media that, Twitter does not speak for sane people when it comes to your movie. They're a small minority of very loud people, but they don't make or break your film. Like, the general audience is not on Twitter. So the fact that they're doing a lot of this stuff, Black Superman, gender-swapping Superman, all this other stuff, this isn't what normal people want. This is what people on Tumblr or Twitter, would give you likes and retweets and things like that. Slay Queen Slay, that kind of stuff. Normal people, especially normal DC fans, they definitely will not like this, if it's true. Which just shows that Warner Brothers is completely out of touch with its fan base. They don't care. And they had an ability not to screw it up, and it sounds like with The Flash, they screwed it up. And of course Keaton would be involved in a movie like this, because Keaton's as far left as you can get. Like, Keaton has been so far gone for so long that, it would make sense that he would want to debase his character to propel this character up that nobody wanted in the first place. People wanted Supergirl, but they wanted Kara Danvers, the cousin of Superman. You know what I mean? It's just going to be very interesting. Is Tim Burton okay with what they're doing with this version of Batman? Tim Burton hasn't said anything. Tim Burton hasn't given his praise or really his... When asked about the whole Michael Keaton thing, how he felt about, Keaton playing his Batman, he was like, well, I was aware that Michael was playing Batman, but I didn't realize he's playing our Batman. So, which goes into the rumor that has been around now since Keaton has started filming, because the bat suit looks different and all this other stuff is, what if Keaton isn't really playing his version from, 30 years ago? What if this is a new Batman that is similar to Keaton's, but it's not the continuation of the Burton universe? The Burtonverse stuff happened, but it happened differently, and this is a different take on this Batman in the multiverse. Which would be why Tim was kind of like, oh, I know Keaton's playing Batman again, but I don't think he's playing our Batman. And also, I don't think Keaton would come back and be like, yeah, I want to reprise my role from 30 years ago. I think that he would come back and be like, hey, I like what you're doing with this movie. Especially, changing up Superman, that's cool. But, what can we do for my character? It'd be like, okay, well, we're getting rid of Ben Affleck, right? Yeah. Okay, well, here's the thing. We want you to play Ben Affleck. His version of Batman, except older. I can do that. I could see Keaton being like, yeah, I could totally do that. Because how are you going to get Keaton to come back and do the movie if it's exactly what he's done before? He hates doing that. He doesn't like reprising his character if it's exactly how he played it. He likes to do things different. And how can it be any different than, hey, we want you to play Batman, but the DC Cinematic Batman, and, you'll be Ben Affleck. So, pretty much, what my reasoning is, based on all the different forums that I've read, and I've been putting together a video about this, because I think it's interesting. I don't know if it's true or not, but it makes a lot of sense if you think about how Twitter is, and the things that Twitter wants, and Reset Era, 4chan, all these other places that try to rule over Hollywood with an iron fist. What if the reason why Keaton is wearing the blue suit, and I know we talked about this before, I think the movie is going to begin with Ben Affleck and Iris West and Barry Allen and Henry Allen in court, and Ben Affleck is going to use all his abilities and his finances and things like that to try to sway the jurors to get Henry off of the murder charge, to get an innocent plea. And he's going to be wearing his blue, really nice suit that he wore in BVS, like his really nice blue dress shirt and suit. And that's actually the same suit that Keaton is shown wearing in different shots near the courthouse with Barry Allen. Now, what if Ben Affleck's Batman doesn't die in The Flash, as people are saying, and he just changes? Now, what do I mean by change? Well, you saw Keaton wearing the same suit that Bruce Wayne wore in BVS, right? In those, on-set photos that they've since yeeted off the internet a lot. I think even my photo was erased by Warner Brothers that I had up. But what if the reason why Keaton is wearing that suit is because he is Bruce Wayne? It's just something happens. So Barry is talking to Affleck. Affleck says, hey, I wish I could go back in time and stop my parents from dying. And Barry's like, oh, why don't I can go back in time? And he goes back in time, does his little, because remember, this movie's supposed to be a comedy, right? It's like a comedy action movie. It's not supposed to be a super serious movie. It's not like the tone of the DC universe that you've known. It's supposed to be like in the vein of the Shazam movie. So it'll have dark elements, excuse me, but it is also going to have a lot of levity to it. So here we go. I'm just spitballing, okay? But what if Keaton is playing Ben Affleck? He's playing his Batman when Barry comes back. So we'll say Barry disappears real quick. He was talking to Ben. And he goes and he changes the past. Just a few things. Just like one thing. And then there's a ripple effect and everything changes. Superman changes. Batman changes. The perception of the Justice League changes. All kinds of things get twisted up, right? And when people come back to the movie, we don't see that Michael Keaton is now, Ben Affleck. When Barry comes back, because I will tell you one important thing about Keaton's version of Batman. Keaton's version of Batman did not have fancy cars outside of his Batmobile and his Bat gadgets. He didn't like to stand out. Ben Affleck's Batman stood out. his Bruce Wayne was very vain, very out there, very egotistical, because he was trying his best to make Bruce Wayne look different than Batman. Like, he was very, very careful of people not discovering who he is. That's why he has a voice changer with his batsuit, all this other stuff. Keaton's Batman stood out, had really awesome gadgets, things like that. Very, very, there's no way you wouldn't tell that Batman's coming. He had, like, a Batmobile that looked like a giant bat. He had a plane that looked like a giant bat. He was really, really going out there to show that Batman stuff, right? And his Batman, his Bruce Wayne character, drove, like, a really decent car, or Alfred just drove him everywhere. Ben Affleck's Batman, numerous occasions, as Bruce Wayne is shown with super fancy cars. In fact, the car that everybody said on set that you saw is not Keaton's car in a sense. It's Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne. So what people are saying is when we see Bruce Wayne again in his blue suit after Barry goes back in time and changes some stuff, then it comes back to the courthouse for, his dad or whatever. You see Bruce Wayne standing by the car, and then as Barry approaches him, he turns around and boom, he's now Michael Keaton. It's still Bruce Wayne, it's just he's older, and everything in the world has now changed. Diana's on a bus, the Justice League is well known, Superman is now Supergirl, and then everything else just kind of happens afterwards. That is the big rumor that's going around, and if true, it kind of sounds like it sucks, because you get rid of Ben Affleck, and you get rid of Henry Cavill in like a millisecond. And they're gone. They're just replaced. Keaton is now Ben Affleck. He's Batman. He's going to suit up. He's going to do all the Batman stuff. He's like 20 years older, but he's still Batman. And Superman exists in this world. It's just now Supergirl. I mean, would you go see a movie like that knowing that two of your favorite characters have just been wiped from existence? Or changed? Changed. Not dead. They're just different. I'm just curious, what if that turned out to be true, what would you guys think of the Flash movie? Would you be like, wow, this is like cutting-edge technology? Or be like, no, I don't want to see this because the Superman I want more of is gone, and Ben Affleck can't come back either because his character's now Keaton. I don't know, I'm on the fence. I think it's a pretty easy way to replace some of the trouble that's going on. But at the same time, it sounds like it's a very bad idea. If true, I still like the premise that Supergirl was the daughter of Superman and Lois from the Christopher Reeves world as a way to tribute the Superman movies, especially with Richard Donner passing away now. That would be a great tribute that they could do. But to gender swap Superman and to just like gracefully exit Ben Affleck, not dying, but just changing into Keaton, that also limits your ability to have both actors, appear as Batman at the same time. If you didn't know this, Ben Affleck is actually, like, Keaton was his Batman, his childhood Batman. Ben Affleck has the opportunity to be in the same movie with Michael Keaton. You would think he would want to be in a scene with both their Bruce Waynes. But if Keaton is playing Ben Affleck after The Flash does stuff, it just feels like it would be a huge missed opportunity. Like the whole Star Wars movies where Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher, R.I.P., all wanted to be in like one or two reunion shots together, and they never got to. All their stuff was separate. So it's just kind of stuff like that. It's like Hollywood just doesn't really understand what fans want, and then it always blows up in their face. They don't understand why fans get angry. Like this right here, you would think this would be enough to trigger a boycott or something like that, because that sounds like really bad fan fiction. Like, incredibly bad. It sounds so bad, it's probably true. That's the thing nowadays. Like, when you find out these comic book leaks, and people are like, oh no, this is like the Black Batman stuff. Everybody said, like, oh no, they're not going to do this kind of stuff. They did do it. Like, everything I told people about in the comic books, like, 6 months to a year ago before they released the story, you know, it was all true. It was all true. Every bad thing I said that did not sound well from a story point of view, it was all true. Just like the continuation of the books, I said eventually they're probably going to do a thing where Black Batman, his villain is going to be that words spark violence. And there's going to be a villain that's going to pop up that's going to be responsible for wanting to kill people because they said something mean to him. And it basically moved him to violence. And that's exactly what the brand new Black Batman books this fall are about. A supervillain who is literally going after people because they're mean. He's killing people because he said their words sparked him to violence, which is a left talking point. I mean, you can't write this insanity. It's real. The Bruce Wayne normal Batman books aren't doing crazy stuff like this, but the what is it? Ripley, I forget the guy's name. John Ridley Batman run is just really bad writing. Like, it's terrible. And it's not just because the character's black, it's because he's written terribly. You could easily get a very talented person to write, you know, the new Tim Fox Batman stories, but they choose all these woke people that are idiots. You have a huge opportunity where you could actually make this Batman interesting, but you're just making him a Twitter talking point. That to me is just moronic. But it is what it is. And I said that's what they were going to do. They were going to make activist Batman, and that's exactly what they did. People said, no, they're not going to do that. You just don't like him because he's black. It's like, no, they're going to make him activist Batman. You watch. They can't just make him Batman. He has to stand for something. He has to fight villains that aren't really bad guys, but they are bad guys in the sign of, like, Twitter viewpoints. And that's exactly what they did with Tim. Before he fought a private security force that had, you know, taken over people, supposedly, which was a fear that a lot of lefties had with the last administration. So they wrote a whole comic book about, like, a private security force that took over the world, basically, you know? And now they're doing this thing where words lead to violence. A supervillain. It's just kind of like, what? I mean, honestly, it's coming to a point where outside of the Bruce Wayne books, I can't cover the other Batman because the other Batman is nuts. And the writer is nuts. And yet they praise them like, oh, this is cutting edge, like, storytelling. It's like, what? For who? Who is this for? No one. That's what I don't get. That's why I honestly believe that Discovery is basically going to be like, all right, these books aren't selling. We can't make movies off of this or animated movies. You're done, DC. It just really feels like there's going to be mass firings at DC Comics, as well as, like, they're going to just do that thing that a lot of ex-DC workers have been saying, because the writing's been on the wall for at least 4 years now, that they're just going to go to graphic novels. That'll be the new content, because the new content isn't selling. There's no way these Tim Fox Batman books are going to sell. The new villain is stupid. I know that the current Batman, the Urban Legends books are struggling, but the Nightwing books are doing really good. The Titans books are doing okay. But a lot of the other stuff is just really weird. They were supposed to bring Alfred back by now, too, and they haven't. Which I don't know if you want to bring Alfred back now. Everything's too weird. Maybe when they do, like, another, like, full-blown reboot. They're gonna have to, because things are just not working out well. Like, Bruce Wayne literally is running everything out of a garage right now. He's not in a subway or some type of, like, legit hiding place. He's hanging out in a parent's garage, like, of a house. Somewhere in Gotham is where he operates as his Batcave. Limited to no security. Anyone, if they really wanted to, could follow Batman back to his garage Batcave and figure out that he's Bruce Wayne because, you know, It's just, I don't know. It's a really bad fad that just needs to go away. And they need to get like more talented writers involved with Tim Fox. If they're going to continue to make Tim Fox a Batman, they desperately need a talented writer. They don't need another activist. They need someone that actually can write good and not like interject themselves into the story, because it's not working very well. It's you're turning Batman into a joke, which is not what Batman's supposed to be. There are joke-like characters in the Batman universe, of course, but not the main character. And the thing is, they're playing it kind of like... It feels like the Tim Fox Batman books are basically how Batman acted in Brave and the Bold, but more so. Like, you know, they're kind of aware of the things that are going on, and they're just, like, there so the story can be told. But it's just utterly ridiculous. It really is. But yeah, I don't know. If the stuff with the Flash is true, I don't know if I'm going to watch it or not. I'll wait to go see it because I don't want to give Hollywood my movie, like, money for that. I'll wait, like, after the whole box office thing. Like I told you guys, usually wait, like, I ran out of ammo. Thank you. Usually wait, like, 3 to 4 weeks after a movie has come out so that you don't give Hollywood any box office money. You just support your local theater. So I'm probably going to do that. And then I'll go see the Flash movie. And if it's like eye-rolling, I will definitely tell people about it, like, in detail. I hope it's good. I hope that everything is, like, just crazy rumors that are going around to try to, like, sabotage the movie. But if that's really what the movie is, then that's yikes. That's a yikes for me, fam. Because that sounds like they haven't learned their lesson with the theatrical version of Justice League. Like, without Zack Snyder, they have no idea how to make, like, interesting Justice League character movies. It's like Wonder Woman 2 all over again, except possibly worse. You know? But we'll see. We shall see what's going to happen. Yeah, no words. I don't know. But that's, I mean, a lot of people have asked me on my Twitter, why don't you do videos on the Tim Fox Batman? It's like, if I did, I'd probably get deplatformed for being honest that the books suck. Because the color of the character's skin, I'm not allowed to say something's good or bad, because then I'll be deplatformed. Because, I mean, shocker, the books are terrible. But if I were to say that in a video labeled, like, Tim Fox Batman review or something like that, I would be... people try to railroad me off the platform. Because I as a white dude can't talk about that. Like, I don't have the right armor to address certain topics. So, and I haven't really wanted to talk about the Urban Legends Batman books on my other channel because they're kind of garbage too. So I'm just kind of waiting for the Batman books to get a little bit better. But I have made some mini scripts about the Nightwing books because I've wanted to talk about those. I just haven't had the time. Like, literally, after all the different streams that happen, I'm, like, kind of, you know, at the end of the night. In fact, tonight, after this stream is over, you guys saw how badly I did during the Mario and Luigi stuff. So what I'm going to have to do for the next, probably 3 hours is go find some place to grind and get my characters at least up to level 15 for tomorrow's stream. And that'll take all night, honestly. So... the only thing I could really do is have, like, a podcast talking about Nightwing. And his heartless villain. But in reality, the comic books that I like right now are Power Rangers. And not the Mighty Morphin ones. I'm talking, like, the Omega Rangers. Yeah, Grant has a cameo in the Flash movie, but there's no Cyborg. See, the important thing of the original Flash script was, especially because apparently they've gone through 4 drafts of the movie, which is terrifying. 4 drafts, okay? Before they started filming 2 months ago. There was 4 drafts of the script. The first script was probably the best version. Ben Affleck died fighting Darkseid. Most of the Justice League is killed. So you had like body doubles of Gal Gadot, Superman, Aquaman, all these other people. They all died fighting Darkseid. It opened up in a horrific way in one draft. They're not going to use this, most likely. Doesn't sound like it, because they're going for more like a comedy. So Ben Affleck is like one of the last members of the Justice League to die, and he urges Barry to go back and change things. Like, or to go back and warn people, and something happens along the way where Barry went too far back in time, ends up in, you know, the far past, where the night where his mother's murdered, and realizing where he is, he's overcome by emotion and he stops the murder, and then he runs back to several months before the invasion of Darkseid, and everything's different. And then he runs into Bruce and Ben Affleck, and then they go... Or no, Ben Affleck doesn't come back. He runs into a Bruce Wayne, but that Bruce Wayne is supposed to be Michael Keaton. But it's not the Bruce Wayne that he knows. He somehow ended up in the multiverse, and then he was supposed to be traveling to all these different places, running into DC cameos and things like that. That was the good draft that they decided not to use. And then they've had so many different versions after that. And supposedly the one that Andy decided on is the one with gender swap Superman. Ben Affleck becomes Michael Keaton. And the premise of the whole Supergirl-Superman aspect is they're using Flashpoint, where Superman, or rather Supergirl, was locked away in a government facility all her life. And she's like not necessarily evil, but... she doesn't really know what to do in the world. One version of the script, which was good, was Supergirl was supposed to be the daughter of the Christopher Reeve Superman. And they decided not to do that, supposedly. So the movie stops filming in the middle of August. And then I guess we'll find out what else leaks about the movie. But I don't know. It sounded to me like the first draft was probably the best one. But Warner Brothers didn't like it. Just like Warner Brothers didn't like Ben Affleck's Batman script. And then the second and third draft apparently didn't work either. And they really liked the fourth one, which is the worst one, supposedly. So, it is what it is. I mean, you can't really... Discovery can do nothing right now. The movie's been in production. This is going to be the last real Warner Brothers film that people don't like from the executives they don't like. And then when it fails, Discovery's going to fire everybody and start over again. You watch. Because Discovery wants to make money, and they can't make money going woke. You just can't. You can go halves and half, like halfsies, but you can't go full-blown. You don't make money. And you just, like, anger people, and people don't really want to do anything with your brand anymore. They're like, oh, okay, so this is what DC films are going to be like? Okay, well, I'll go somewhere else, or I'll go to anime, or I'll go wherever. Because Warner Brothers honestly believes that, hey, what's going on with what Twitter is saying is popular and trendy, that's what everybody else thinks about comic books now. No, that's what a small minority of people on Twitter think. They don't speak for us sane comic people. They're small, very loud minority. Very small percentage of the comic book fan base or the DC Films fan base. You know? But, you know, these social media managers and other people that work for Warner Brothers and stuff like that, they see that, they report to their bosses thinking that's what it is, and then they change the movies and the movies fail. It's just how it works. And they don't learn their lesson either. Then they turn around and they write articles that the fandom is toxic and, you know, people don't want this in the movies because they're ists and phobes and blah, 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 blah. When in reality, people just want a really cool comic book movie seeing their favorite heroes. If they made the first Black Panther movie weird, people wouldn't have liked it as much as they did. But they made an awesome Black Panther movie that was about the Black Panther characters and Wakanda and had a good story. It didn't go out of its way like to be too agenda-driven. In fact, I can't really think of anything that would be considered like, you know, Hollywood politics in that movie at all. It was a fun superhero movie. You know? The villain was interesting. I like it. It's one of my favorite Marvel films. But most of the DC films after Nolan have just been really weird. Super weird. But, you know, we'll find out at the DC fandom event what they're going to do. Because if the rumor's true that at the DC fandom event that they're planning on unveiling like a lot of really weird stuff, you know, and talking about the Flash and, you know, talking about like all this like diversity plans they have for the movie and the storyline and stuff like that, then you know that they went out of their way to basically do the Loki thing and turn Superman into a woman, which would kind of explain why. I was always wondering, they said that Henry Cavill was really mad like 6-7 months ago in response to Supergirl being in the movie. I don't think he was mad at the fact that they brought Supergirl into the films. I think the reason why he was annoyed and his agent was mad is because they replaced his character with a woman. So it's not just Supergirl shows up, it's that Supergirl becomes him, and Henry Cavill was furious. So I think when the you know, these different media companies were talking about Henry Cavill being upset and, you know, them trying to say that he's sexist or whatever, I think the reason why he was so annoyed, which would make a lot of sense, is if they literally turned his character into a woman. I think that's why Henry Cavill got mad, which I think he has every reason to. Because they're essentially saying, we don't want to get rid of you in a sense, but we're changing your character, and she's a girl now, meaning you can't play Superman anymore. Or something like that. I think that would be the grounds for the actor to be annoyed. I think they could totally get away with that. So I would believe that Cavill would be totally justified in his reaction that people in the newspapers were making fun of him, like right around his birthday, saying that he was very annoyed with the Supergirl casting and, you know, trying to paint him as a villain, when in reality, he's not a bad guy. They caught him at a bad day when essentially they told him, you're done, probably. And that's the thing that people are going to have to understand. If Sasha really replaced Henry Cavill's character, then there is no more Man of Steel 2 with Henry Cavill. It's done. And there's nothing you can do. Because it was... Watch them even say, like, when the Flash comes back afterwards, and they explain to Supergirl who she was in the previous Earth, and Supergirl asking, well, can I go back to how I was before? And Flash will be like, oh, I don't know how I changed all that. And Keaton would probably step in and be like, what happened, happened. All we can do now is just, like, move forward and be a better Justice League or something. I could just see something really stupid like that happening. And then some people in the theater would be like, well, I mean, I guess this is a Supergirl now. This is our Kryptonian. And then there are going to be people that will be flipping out like, what? Because they'll know that Warner Brothers pulled something really crazy. And the only reason I'm talking about this now is because Screen Rat is definitely bringing up the idea. They're actually for it. They're like, well, we think it would be an interesting idea if she is playing a gender-bent version of Henry Cavill. And it's like, no, no. Bad. There's nothing wrong with Henry Cavill's Superman. He just had a bad director. He wasn't able to play Superman the way he wanted to. Didn't have enough time to. Everything was so rushed. He got one movie, and then he had, like, 2 team-up movies. He didn't really get to tell his story. And to continue his story like this, that would be a travesty. That'd be worse than him dying at Doomsday Quasimodo, the way he did in BVS. I mean, that... Ugh. Messed up. Superman gets the Loki treatment. Sophie. He gets Sophied. Is that her name? Is it Loki's female counterpart? Her name is Sophie? Sophia? I don't know. I have no idea where I am. What is this? Oh, that's a shield of some kind? Yum. Yum! But like I said, I'll probably do a podcast on it just to talk about it more. Because, I mean, it would make sense why Sasha kind of looks like a dude if she's really playing a gender-neutral version of Superman or whatever. Then it would make sense that she doesn't look very female. But at the same time, I am pulling for Sasha to actually be the daughter of Superman and Lois. And not just any Superman and Lois. I want her to be the daughter of Christopher Reeves, Richard Donner Superman, because she would actually be around the right age for that, if you think about it. Like, if Christopher Reeves, Superman, and Lois had a daughter, we'll say in the 90s or something like that, then she would be around the same age she is in the movie. Roughly. And that would be a much nicer thing they could do for Supergirl's first appearance in the DC Cinematic Universe, rather than doing that poor thing to Henry Cavill, because that'd be disgusting and wrong. Very, very mean. Same thing for Ben Affleck's Batman, having him turn into Michael Keaton. Imagine that, replaced by the Batman actor that was your first Batman growing up, someone you looked up to, and then he comes back, plays your character, but people love him more because he's Michael Keaton. That would suck. That would suck. That would be like, okay, what if, we'll say spitballing, 10 years from now, I get a role for playing Batman in a new animated series, right? And then along the way, they decide that they're going to bring back Kevin Conroy, and something's going to happen to my version of Batman where he's going to be older, and it's going to be Kevin playing the role again. So it's like a fun way of getting fired, but nothing happened to my character in the sense. It's just my character changed. How would you even... What feelings would you have about that? Like, if it's all true, anyway. My question is, why is Ben Affleck getting back into bat shape, though? And supposedly he already filmed his Bruce Wayne stuff quite a while ago. I was talking to somebody on Reddit about this, like on a Batman Reddit. It was yesterday. Yesterday, really late last night. And I said, well, in a way, Ben Affleck could still play Batman. And they're like, how? It's like, well, remember what he said about his HBO Max thing taking place in the past? Even if somehow Ben Affleck became Michael Keaton after the whole, you know, Flash, whatever we call it, Flash Speed Force shenanigans, in a way he could still play his previous character because Zack Snyder said in the BVS movie that, you know, how many people are good in Gotham 20 years later? How many stayed that way? So they've already basically set up this thing where 20 years ago, Ben Affleck was still playing his Batman. So if the HBO Max series wanted to follow the events before BVS and do Batman stuff that way, or a movie, Ben Affleck could come back and play the role. It's just if there's any present-day stuff, you'd have to have Keaton come back. And the fact that Keaton is older now leads pretty close to the rumor that they want to do Batman Beyond and bring in a teenage Batman to appeal to the Spider-Man audience, since Spider-Man is essentially a teenager. So, even though the rumor sounds horrible, if you really think about it, there's a lot of aspects of that rumor that are lining up with other things that we know that Warner Brothers is trying to do, like bring Terry McGinnis in and things like that. And the whole Discovery even said, Discovery wants a teenage Batman because they think it would be more relatable to teenagers than this old guy. And they want Batman to be fun. Batman's not really a fun thing, so the only fun Batman you could bring in would be Terry. So, too many things are lining up correctly for this to be, like, completely untrue. That's just my reasoning behind all the stuff that's being discussed. It just seems like some of it sounds so absurd that you don't think that Warner Brothers would do that. But if you look at Warner Brothers' track record and some of the things they've done on the CW, then it kind of makes sense. Sadly. And there's nothing fans can do about it, so... You know. But I was hoping that, what's his name? That Andy was going to be one of the good guys. But he might have just been brought in. And the reason why... Because remember, they went through... How many directors of the Flash movie? Four or five drafts of the movie. And Warner Brothers now finally decided that it was okay to make the Flash movie. Like, Ezra Miller was in trouble a while ago, too, for assaulting a fan. Like, a couple years ago. I don't even remember why he did it, but it wasn't a good thing that he did that. Most of his story beats followed that of Zack Snyder's vision of the Flash, kind of, sort of. At least, like, a few drafts of the movie, tying into the dark side stuff. It feels like they allowed the Flash movie to happen because the script is so bad and it does so many terrible things to the shared universe that now they've allowed it to happen because it's not going to be a good movie. Like, they went through and they let it happen because it's Twitter fan fiction and it basically completely erases the rest of the Snyderverse. Like, the two biggest players, Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill. That's why I feel like the movie was made. And it makes sense if you look at it that way. Just my 2 cents. I hope I'm wrong. I'd love to be wrong. I don't want to be right about this. That'd be terrible. But if I'm right, which my track record with DC Films, going back to debunking the whole Jason Todd being the Joker in the Suicide Squad, and some of the other directions that they've taken for Batman in both DC Comics, video games, movies, all proved out to be true. So, I don't know. I just have a bad feeling. That's just stupid. Batman's not supposed to be fun. He's supposed to be like a 30s guy that broods in a bat costume. Yeah. That reminds me of when Jay Leno replaced Conan O'Brien. Oh my gosh, it is. It's like the Conan O'Brien thing, isn't it? Conan O'Brien was the host of The Tonight Show, and then they brought Jay Leno back randomly to be the same host of The Tonight Show again. And then Conan went to TBS and basically made Jay Leno retire for real because he dominated him in the ratings. Because everybody wanted to go watch Coco. And then Coco got weird. And Conan O'Brien used to be fun, and then he got crazy. But I think he got crazy because of all the bad things that happened to him. I don't think people are just normally crazy. I think you get crazy based on things that have happened to you. Look at me. I didn't start out crazy. I've been beaten down by YouTube so much that I am honestly surprised I've not turned into the Joker yet. And, like, driven down to YouTube studios in California or something. Because they are the villain in my life that has beaten me down to, like, the point where I'm down and I'm still being pummeled on the ground repeatedly. And that changed me. I became more cynical, angrier, you know, all kinds of stuff. Whereas if you go back and you watch my YouTube videos, like even 3-4 years ago when things were working well and wasn't shadow banned and all this other stuff and having my streams, people yeeted off my streams and things like that, I was very different than I am today. Certain things happen to people that cause them to go crazy. It's just like Joker said, one bad day can take the sanest man alive and turn him into lunacy. It's fact. Experiences change people. For good or bad. I still like to think I'm not totally insane. Yet. But. I'm not how I was when I, you know. 4 years ago. I'm not that beacon of hope and nice guy I was. I don't think so. If they make Batman a teenager, will they make Robin a toddler? They won't do Robin. Fortnite plus K-Wing equals Nightcast. Luke K-Wing is the one who's playing and streaming right now. Yeah, this isn't Amber, or this would be like a very happy stream. It's not Amber. I think we are going to do a Batman podcast tomorrow. Let's talk about the Supergirl rumor. I think that'll be fun. I'm pretty sure outside of like a few articles, I'm the first YouTuber to talk about it. Or at least the gender swap version of it. People think that I've seen some of the drama channels. They've said that they believe that Supergirl is going to be kind of like the Tila of the Flash movie, and she's going to be the focus. But not many of them have brought up the things that are circulating on those forum sites that people are saying, "Wow, this is those forum sites," which are crazy, by the way, where a lot of the Twitter wolves hang out and have an impact on people. They're the ones that are talking about the whole gender swap stuff because somebody on set who worked as an extra leaked something to a forum site about 2.5 weeks ago, and not many people have talked about it because it sounds too crazy to be true. Like, there were holes in some of the thing about Dick Grayson dying for it to, you know, be fake, unfortunately. You know, people filmed the gravestone of Dick Grayson and his family. And you couldn't have the whole Jason Todd thing because there was only one Robin in that universe. So there's no way that Joker would be Jason Todd because Nightwing doesn't exist in Ben Affleck's world. Which Chris McKay still hates, by the way. Although, what's good, I know I hardly say anything good, but this is a good thing. Chris McKay is talking about his Nightwing movie again because of the Discovery buyout of Warner Media. He believes in a year or two, he will actually be able to make his Nightwing movie either in the way that they did the Joker film or as a multiverse epic. And he wants to have Ben Affleck cameo in his as his Batman. Which makes sense because, I mean, that's right around the age of a Batman would be when Nightwing is around. So, I mean, the fact that Chris McKay is actually getting comfortable to talk about his Nightwing film again, it does mean that Warner Media were the bad guys during the whole Justice League thing and decided, no, you can't make a Nightwing movie. Because, well, you'll have to use a different character because Dick Grayson is off the table. Because of the Titans thing. Or whatever. But with the whole multiverse thing, and now that he's done with his Chris Pratt movie, which you guys need to support Chris McKay's movie, by the way. On, I believe, is it Netflix or Amazon that has the new Chris Pratt movie, Tomorrow something? The future movie with Chris Pratt. It's just like a dumb, fun popcorn flick. Wherever that is, go support Chris McKay's work, and then he'll start working on the Nightwing movie. Amazon, okay, yeah. I'm gonna watch it. Maybe I'll watch it tonight. I don't know. I'm gonna need to do something to keep my mind from wandering when I'm grinding in Mario and Luigi, or I'm gonna go crazy. Because I don't even know where I'm supposed to go to grind, because my characters are getting their butts kicked. I want to be at least a level 14 by tomorrow's stream. I think a level 15 is pushing it, because I don't think I'm going to be able to do that tonight. Because the characters take way too long to level up. Way too long. But yeah, Chris McKay is openly talking about Nightwing again, and that's a good thing. So he is really paying attention to the, whatchamacallit, the Warner buyout by Discovery. And, you know, that's the reason why he's talking about it. is because he thinks now he might actually be able to make his movie. Whereas before, he was kind of strong-armed into not making the Nightwing movie. But also Dan Didio was around back then too, so I think that Dan Didio didn't want a Nightwing movie to be made. Because Dan Dido doesn't like Nightwing. But it doesn't matter what Dido wants because he's not there anymore. Ha! Although, I do wonder if Dan Didio was still around, would we have gotten woke Black Batman? Like Tim Fox? Or would we have gotten Luke Fox's Batman? Like, would they bring back a character that was basically in prison for the past 40 years to play Batman? Or would he have been somebody else? Would we have Asian Batman now? I don't know. It just seems like it was a bad idea based on one of Dan Didio's things. But who knows? The problem is, this is a problem with Dan being gone, and this is the only time I'm going to say this. So I'm never going to repeat this. I respected some aspects of what Dan did, and he had a good reign on his people. The people that he brought in, he didn't let them go too crazy. Ridley, or Ridley, or whatever his name is, the guy who is the author of the Tim Fox Batman books, has no checks and balances. He does whatever he wants, and it doesn't seem like an editor is actually preventing a lot of the crap from being made. Whereas when Dan was around, even though there was a lot of crap, there wasn't a saturation of crap. Do you know what I mean? It felt like the editors actually prevented things from going too far over. Like there was a balance of, there's some crap here, but there's some good stuff here. Right now, at DC, there's a lot of crap. There's a lot of it. And there's no checks and balances. It's like, now is the time where people can basically do whatever they want, and it'll get published. Even if it's a horrible idea, it'll get published, because there's no editorial staff doing anything. Not from what I know. You know? And this is somebody who's studied comics and knows the industry pretty well for the past, 20 plus years. You see a lot of weird stuff. But usually, DC was kind of like a place that balanced crazy ideas with good stories. And right now, it's just all crazy ideas. Like the Aqualad book that's coming out this fall is not going to sell. If they make that the whole premise of the book, it's a Pride book. No one's going to buy that. Like, not past the first issue. You know? Maybe some people will pick up the Deathstroke book that's coming out, but they don't really want Deathstroke to be a superhero. It feels like at DC Comics, what they're doing right now is they have a board, and then they have a sticky ball, and they throw the sticky ball and see where it lands. And if the idea, even if the idea is terrible, wherever the magic sticky ball hit becomes a comic or a storyline. And that's not a good way to run a comic book publisher that's been around for 80 years. They even had a Batman and Superman book get canceled this year. Batman and Superman, the two biggest flagship characters in DC Comics, had one of their books canceled because of how bad it was. It was really boring and bland and dumb. And it's just gone. You know? They don't know what they're doing. Like, all these ex-comic book pros that became indie people who used to work at DC, even a couple years ago when I interviewed one of them, they said that DC is running out of ideas and they're mass hiring these Twitter people who have no ground in comic book stuff whatsoever. They're activists. And they're just kind of bleeding dry at the moment. They don't know what they're doing. They have no plan. They have no vision. And it proves to be the case. Like, they saw the writing on the wall when they left or they got fired. And now they're doing better than ever with their indie comic books. I still haven't gotten into the indie comic book scene because I'm too old school. I want to keep supporting DC as best I can, but I don't support everything about DC anymore. I'm very selective at what I read, and the only thing that I'm really adamantly paying for right now is the Nightwing books. I am not going to read any more Batman Urban Legends because it's getting really dumb. If they make a new Robin book, I'll probably pick that up. I've been trying to read the Damian run, which is basically like Robin Fight Club, but it's too weird. It's like, let's bring back Damian, give him a Robin book, but he's not Robin, and let's have him do a Fight Club with the League of Assassins. It made a cool movie, maybe it would make a cool comic. Nope! I do love the fact, though, with the Robin Fight Club, that essentially they're bringing back all these obscure characters from 90s and the 2000s Batman books that nobody has seen in the longest time. They also resurrected Green Arrow's son, who's been missing for quite some time in DC Comics, and he's randomly at this Damian Wayne League of Assassins Fight Club. He's just there. I don't know. So, like, what other character can we put in this book so people might read it? Hey, remember Green Arrow's son? Why don't we use him? Well, what was his name? Connor? Yeah, let's put Connor in Fight Club. And yet, right now, even though they have a, bizarre Aqualad book coming out, that's kind of like a slice of life book, where the focus is his life, not necessarily him being a superhero or anything like that. Not Green Lantern, sorry. Aquaman, like Arthur Curry, doesn't have a new comic. Like, his comic got canceled last year by a lady who was like, look, if you don't like my politics, don't buy my book. And comic book fans were like, okay. So people stopped buying Aquaman because she was going out of her way to attack fans all the time. And this was back when Aquaman was actually surging in popularity, and he had no comic book. Even right now, with his new movie in development, he has no new book. Like I said, people at DC don't know what they're doing. Especially with, like, their new flagship characters. There's a lot of stuff going on with Cyborg right now. Why doesn't Cyborg have his own book? There's a lot of stuff that's going to be happening with Aquaman in the movies. Why doesn't he have his own book or a video game? You could even give him a mobile game, for crying out loud. They don't know what they're doing with their properties, and that's why the Discovery thing might actually be good. It might be good for video games. It might be good for licensed comic book characters. It might be bad for DC because Discovery might, cut the cord. They might see that, hey, wait, DC Comics here is kind of pulling everything down and making these characters a joke, and we don't want this, so why don't we hire Dan Jurgen and Jeff Johns and Jude Winnick and all these other people to write really cool graphic novels for Justice League that will turn into an epic event, and maybe an animated movie will come from this, or a video game or something like that, because making these weekly comics is apparently not helping our bottom line anymore. That's the kind of stuff I see Discovery doing. And there's really no reason that Aquaman doesn't have a video game, or Superman, or Wonder Woman. They don't know how to use their characters right. If I was a billionaire and I bought DC, the first thing I would do right now is be like, you have an Aquaman movie in development, why is there no video game? You have this huge audience on YouTube that's been asking for a Superman game for 15 years, why is there no Superman game? Rocksteady, you're making Superman. Warner Brothers, Game Montreal, you did the Gotham Knights thing, you're done with that? Cool, you're working on Aquaman. You, mobile developer, you've been doing this. Or, how about this? NetherRealms, we're going to take you out of your comfort zone. You're making a Wonder Woman game. I want it set on Themyscira and base it around Hades or Ares, the god of war, and make it kind of like a God of War slash Total, that Spartan game series. Something like that. Do that. Here's a bunch of money. I want this in 2 years. Get it done. Boom. Marvel's making a bunch of mobile games. Where's our DC mobile games? What are you guys doing? Here's some money to make some new mobile games. There's a new Batman cartoon coming out. Why doesn't it have a video game? Make something on Nintendo. Nintendo is craving Batman content. All they have is Fortnite. Give them a Batman game based on this new animated series, The Cape Crusader. Boom. Done. You know? It's not hard. But what happens is, right now, that Toby Emmerich guy, I don't like him. He's an activist. He's insane. And he doesn't really like DC characters. He's more of a Harry Potter person. Right? If I was Discovery, I'd be like, wait a second. We got an executive here that's basically not allowing things like... The Nightwing movie was basically stopped by Toby. So, why is Toby still there, Discovery? Chris McKay is openly talking about his Nightwing movie, which he hasn't done since 2018. And yet you have executives there that are really bad. Why are they still there? Why? You're preventing talent and actors from wanting to actually make good stuff for you. It doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't. You don't want Chris McKay to get sad and then go over to Marvel. He's a talented guy that could actually make a really good Nightwing movie. He is a fan of Dick Grayson, just like I am. I am a super fan of Nightwing. Chris McKay is a super fan of Nightwing, from the Chuck Dixon run all the way through Grant Morrison and everything. He even liked the New 52 Nightwing and could find good things about it. I'm still looking for the good things about the New 52 Nightwing. But I'm just saying, he understands the character. He can make a great movie. He can cast a really cool person to play Nightwing. And you have people at Warner Brothers that are basically going to shoot him down again. And I'm sure Discovery wants more movies on their characters. Because essentially they own Warner Brothers now. It's not like, oh, it's a merger. Shut up. It's not a merger. They bought Warner Media. They bought them. It's not like, oh, we're all one big happy family. We merged. Nope. Nope, it's not a merger. Bought, sold. AT&T sold them, and they bought stock in them after they sold them because they don't want to completely not own Warner Brothers anymore, so they bought like 70% shares or something after the buyout. But, yeah, it was not a merger. A merger is something completely different. A merger, both companies get benefits. Like, Discovery was the one that foot the bill. Because AT&T has a lot of debt. Billions and billions in debt. And Warner Brothers was not helping their debt. It was making it worse. So, but I'm just saying, it's not a hard fix to fix Warner Brothers. What they need right now is they need to yeet all the activists. You don't need activists in comic books right now. You need people that love these characters, understand these characters, and can, most importantly, attract an audience with good stories. Good villains. Stakes. Same thing in video games. You have people all the time that are like, oh gosh, another Batman game. I love Batman games. I'm not going to lie. There always needs to be Batman games. You can't not make a Batman game. But you have other characters that are making a lot of waves in popularity right now. Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Green Lantern. You know, all these characters are trending constantly. Superman. Why? After all these years, it's been now, they changed the way video games were done with superhero games with Arkham Asylum. That was 2009. It is 2021, and there is no Wonder Woman game, no Aquaman, no Green Lantern game, a good one, and there's no Supes at all. Supposedly, there's a rumor that a Superman game is in development, but that rumor's been going on for 6 years now. And one of them got canceled. You know? That's why it's important to work with people and bring people into your business, because it's a comic book business. You don't want to just, like, take your diversity bingo and knock things out of the park so that you can get pats on the back on Twitter. You need to actually run a business that works. And I'm not saying that there aren't people that are diverse that don't know comics. There are a lot of talented people of all walks of life, but they're not hiring them. They're hiring somebody they saw standing outside their building with pink hair or neon hair or whatever. And, you know, has very interesting things on their Twitter. They're not really going out and finding the talented cream of the crop. They're settling for people who may have written a fanfic on fanfiction.com and calling them writers. No! You know? They need to fine-tune their hiring process and, I don't know, actually work with talented people again instead of people that are just there to breed controversy, because eventually controversy is going to dry up. Nobody's going to care. People are already eye-rolling right now. Everybody knew the whole Kevin Smith thing with He-Man. Everybody knew from a year ago when he said it, which he forgot, when he was at that He-Man toy convention over a year ago. Actually, it was 2 years ago now, because there was no toy convention in 2020. In 2019, at a He-Man Masters of the Universe toy fair thing, Kevin Smith, when he was talking about He-Man Revelations, which was revealed for the first time, they said at that place that this was a show for a vehicle for Teela. And then for 2 years on social media, he was going through and saying, no, it's not the Teela show. It's not. No, Adam isn't going to lose his powers, or it's all about He-Man. And then they're like, oh, by the way, we're changing the name of the show to Masters of the Universe Revelations. We're dropping the name He-Man because we want to go with a wider brush. We want to make sure everybody in the Masters of the Universe has like that they're lifted up. But when they took the name He-Man out for the new show, then probably it's not going to be about He-Man. And then when all the leaks came out about basically giving Teela that, empowering haircut and muscles and all this other stuff, everything that people said 2 years ago was true, and Kevin Smith was like bashing people online saying, this is not what my show is. We're not giving Teela a girlfriend. We're not making her muscle bound and giving her the, anthem haircut of a certain group of people. The activist crowd. All this stuff is false. He-Man does not lose his powers. International trailer shows He-Man breaking the Sword of Power, losing his powers, and Skeletor becoming Skelegod. Kevin Smith, nowhere to be found. It's like, if it's really that way, you can kind of deflect things and be like, okay, yes, Teela is going to have a big role in our show, but we're not going to kill He-Man. People didn't know for the longest time if Adam was going to die in the new show or not. They had no idea. And then it took an international trailer 3 days ago for people to be like, hey, look, Adam's actually in the background in the future. He's still alive. Wow. But they didn't want to tell you. In America, all the promotional stuff they show is Teela. Because they don't want you to know Adam is still around. Because they want people to think that this is the Teela show. But Adam is going to play a big role as king of Eternia, even though he loses his powers. He's still very much around. He's just different. Because for whatever reason, he decides to break the Sword of Power to try to save Eternia, and it backfires. And Teela finds out he's He-Man, and then she gets angry at him and gets a bad haircut and goes pumps iron. It's like, all Kevin Smith would have had to say is, yes, the show is about Teela and He-Man, because Adam has a big role. But you wouldn't know that unless you were able to find out stuff from the international release of Masters of the Universe Revelations. Because in America, they're just telling you Teela, 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 and He-Man is in the first arc. Or whatever. But, I mean, I still think the show might be good, but I don't know. I have a lot of misgivings. But part of the reason why Teela is so buff now is because she has part of the power sword. That's why. She had muscles before a little bit in the first arc, but I'm pretty sure when Adam breaks the Sword of Power into two halves, Tila gets one half and Skeletor gets the other. That's my reasoning. I could be wrong, but I think that's what happens. And I think that the Sword of Power enhances Tila, because Tila becomes Man-at-Arms. Basically, Man-at-Arms is a term for, like, Captain of the Guard. Duncan gives her, or the King, what's his face? What is this? King Randor! That's it. King Randor gives Tila the honor of becoming master of, you know, the Captain of the Guard, which is known as the Man-at-Arms. And I know, some drama channels are running around like, she's the man now, Tila's the man. It's like, no, Tila was supposed to have a huge role in He-Man the 2002 series, but it got canceled. Her role was supposed to become the Sorceress, and then they were going to kill the Sorceress, because the Sorceress is Tila's mom. But now what they're going to do is, they're going to have He-Man and Tila on a break, because there was a thing going on between them, but now she's going to be over He-Man and Adam, because Adam lied to her about being He-Man for a very long time, and she's mad, and also her dad probably dies. So she's really mad at Adam, and then she'll come back, and Adam and Tila will make up. Maybe they'll get together, maybe they won't, but I don't think so, because if they got together this year, then Twitter would complain, because they want Tila to end up with a woman, even though Tila showed no interest of women in the 80s or the 2002 series. But whatever. But yeah, her muscle look, according to the international stuff that is actually doing justice to describing what Revelations is, Adam is still around. Adam is leading a ragtag group of Eternians. Like, Skeletor and Adam and all these other people are kind of divided because magic is being depleted in Eternia. So there's multiple factions. It's not a United Kingdom versus Skeletor anymore. There's so many different aspects of what's going on. And magic is considered evil now because it may or may not be destroying the planet. Which, yeah, that's kind of a cool premise, if you think about it. But yeah, I hope that Tila gets better in the show, because just having her be angry at Adam for what Adam did, because her father and the king and all these people dying, I don't think it has any relation to Adam not telling people he's He-Man. The reason why so many people end up probably dying is because his identity gets exposed. That's what I'm thinking. I'm actually talking with a bunch of international He-Man websites because I don't know if they got to screen it or not, because the show comes out 2.5 weeks from now, or 3 weeks. I feel that if more people knew that Adam was He-Man, then Skeletor would use it to hurt the people that He-Man loved. And I think that when his identity is exposed after the Sword of Power is destroyed, and Tila discovers who he is, that also means Skeletor and the bad guys find out who he is. And that's probably how the King and the Sorceress and all these other people end up getting killed. Is because, you know, technically it's Adam's fault, but it's not. You know what I mean? One of the key things that they said with this show is that there's going to be stakes. Like, there's characters that are going to die. Because they couldn't kill them in the 80s or the 2000s. Although they did, I think they did try to kill some characters in the 2000 series. 2000 series was actually a lot better than people think. But anyway, I had fun tonight. I hope you guys did too. I think the new He-Man show is going to be interesting. I think the Flash movie is going to have some problems. I still want to see it because Keaton's in it. I mean, they've already kind of like hooked me into the movie because of like my childhood Batman. I just like Ben Affleck, but I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I really do, because I want it to be good. I want Warner Brothers to continue what they're doing with bringing back the Snyder Cut universe, and especially how well it's doing internationally now. Australia and Japan and Korea and China. Everybody loves the Snyder Cut overseas. One of the biggest praises of the Snyder Cut today, or rather 14 hours ago, came from Kojima, the guy who created Metal Gear Solid. And what he wrote was high praise, even though Americans are thinking, oh, what he wrote is just a very generic review. It's like, no, I mean, Japanese aren't really very passionate in their words when they describe things. How he's describing how well they fixed and improved the movie, that is his high praise. That's like as high praise as you can get from one of the greatest game developers in Japan. So, I mean, the fact that he loved the movie and he's a film buff, that's a huge thing. So, we'll see what Discovery does. We'll see if The Flash basically railroads everything or sets up the ability for the Snyderverse to come back, you know? Time travel is an interesting thing. If they mess up time travel at the beginning of the movie, they could always use time travel to mess it up in another movie. Who knows? But a lot of streams for you guys tomorrow, I think. I'm trying to remember what's happening tomorrow. Mario and Luigi at 6. Monster Hunter at 8. Cat Quest Part 2 at 10. And my podcast at 11:15, or not 11:15, 11:45, 11:55 tomorrow, talking about the theory of gender-swapped Supergirl. And Keaton's real role in the Batman or whatever. Yeah, I think that'd be fun. Just be an off-the-wall podcast type thing. Because I don't have time to make a video. I wish I did. I don't have time. Videos take time and I don't have time. Oh, hang on. I just got a email. Hey, cool. I don't have COVID. So they can rule that out with my leg. I don't even know why I had a COVID test. Why would you give me a test for that? Blood work normal. No COVID. No cancer. Well, no cancer from the blood test. That's good. Then what is going on with my leg? So I still have to have the MRI. Awesome. All right. You guys have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Not with this game. Something else. But anyway, check out the Batman thing now out. You didn't have to buy the comic in order to get the skin ever. So that's interesting. You didn't need it. You didn't need it at all. Oh, that's funny.